Good evening, UNC family. Good evening, St. Augustine. And good evening to the next government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. I crave your indulgence tonight to address you first. We are currently observing the holy month of Ramadan. And right after I speak, I have to head to the mosque. So I thank you very much and I crave your indulgence for allowing me this facility to speak tonight first. But I am compelled to address several matters of national importance that we have seen over the last few days, where the PNM has trampled over our Republican Constitution. They have appointed a Prime Minister who never fight an election but will receive $87,000 per month for the rest of his life. They have appointed an Attorney General who don't practice law. Could you imagine that? Them appoint an Attorney General who don't practice law. But I will get to those two matters afterwards. But today I want to tell you that under the leadership of Kamla Persad-Bissessar, we have scored our first victory in General Election 2025. Today, Stuart Young has conceded and invited international observers for the 2025 General Election. Kamla Persad-Bissessar was very forceful. She led the battle. She led that fight. And we are now told that we will have observers from the Carter Center. But Stuart Young playing smart with foolishness. He said, Mrs. Persad-Bissessar wrote him yesterday, but he had already drafted the letter, but he's going to send it tomorrow. He said he's going to send it tomorrow, you know. Rowley agreed for CARICOM observers before he left office. But we discovered that when we did our research, Reginald Armour, who was sitting as the Attorney General at that time, his wife is the Assistant Secretary General of the CARICOM. Now, we have no problem with the observers from CARICOM. Let me make that abundantly clear. But if she sits, her husband was sitting in the cabinet, and then she sits in the CARICOM and send observers here, will that give you an appearance of fairness? Will that give you an appearance of fairness, my UNC family? That is why Kamla Persad-Bissessar, as an astute politician and attorney at law, said that we need independent international observers. Today I hear Stuart Young play down and he say, well, we vex because Armour's wife is an employee in CARICOM. She's not an ordinary employee in CARICOM. She sits in a very high office, the office of the Assistant Secretary General of the CARICOM. And within 24 hours after that letter was dispatched by Kamla Persad-Bissessar, Stuart Young has conceded. Last night, he get a political bosshead from Kamla Persad-Bissessar. That is what he get, a political bosshead. And there's a lot of debate and argument going around with what Stuart Young did 33 years ago as a student at St. Mary's College where he attended. 33 years ago, I want to make it abundantly clear, UNC family. 33 years ago, Stuart Young was a bully, and 33 years later, he is still a bully. He is still a bully. The media can do what they want to twist this story. Stuart Young is a bully. We sit in the parliament on a daily basis and we see how he demoralizes members of the opposition. Now, another fellow who vexed with me, his name is Rodney Charles. Do you know Stuart Young used to call this man Duffy every day? He go in parliament. Stuart Young had the worst things to say about women in the parliament. Do you remember? We were debating the budget, debating important matters of delivery, of governance, how they're going to spend the nation's money, but he busy talking about what they're going to do in the toilet in parliament. All you remember that? I don't even want to repeat what the man said. The man is a bully. The man disrespects women, and any man who disrespects women is a imps. Any man who disrespects women in this country is a imps. So don't come and tell me Stuart Young is not a bully. What he did 33 years ago to that That person, he is doing it 33 years later to the nation of Trinidad and Tobago. And you must ensure, my UNC family, that you reject Stuart Young resoundingly at the polls on the 28th of April. So on that day, go out early and cast your vote in favor of the United National Congress and get rid of PNM and get rid of the Stuart Young. This man stand up in the parliament and say, listen, Kamala Persad-Bissessar has an absurd argument because she wants to reintroduce baby grant. He say if he is in charge, he will never do that. Do you know the salary that Stuart Young is getting, $87,000 a month, will benefit 174 single mothers to receive baby grants for their children? Who would you rather vote for to give the 174 women relief for their babies? Don't vote to give Stuart Young more money in the pocket, because he has recused himself over 126 times from the cabinet, and every time he recuses himself is either him or somebody he's related to making money. They're making money. They are going into cabinet because they are not concerned about governance. They are concerned about government. Because you know why? They are entitled to spend the nation's money. That is what they are doing without accountability. So my brothers and sisters, you will vote Stuart Young as the Prime Minister. We will vote Kamala Persad-Bissessar as the Prime Minister. Imagine Stuart Young, oh God, this is a bad imagination. If this man becomes Prime Minister, if this man, alright, I say that. But he got to sit outside the cabinet because he will have to recuse himself for every single decision. That is what he will have to do. They got a bad chair outside the cabinet door for him, because this man will recuse himself every single time. But to prove why I am saying that this man is a bully is because when he made that statement, the Speaker of the House, unprecedented statement that the Speaker of the House had to give, where she said that she will not even repeat the words that Stuart Young used in the Parliament. She said that the reprehensible statements which were directed at the member for Kuvano and the member for Siparia had generated much public opprobrium and brought the House into disrepute and odium. The Speaker went further. This is not my words, you know. The Speaker said that Stuart Young, she is not constrained in issuing any member a reprimand commensurate with the severity of his or her degree of unparliamentary, objectionable, abusive, insultive, or offensive language. She found that the words that Stuart Young used were crass and distasteful. She said they were misogynistic. She said, as a woman, this is Bridget, you know. This is not UNC, you know. Bridget is saying this. I can call she Bridget now because she's no longer the Speaker. As a woman, I am naturally led to condemn statements which seek to indecently portray another woman, statements which trivialize criminal activities which exploit women, or statements which impute improper conduct on behalf of other women. And I want to give only the definition of this big word, misogynistic. It means language which promotes hatred to women. The Speaker of the House found that Stuart Young used statements that would promote hatred towards women. Women of Trinidad and Tobago, I want you all to not be bullied and reject Stuart Young. Reject him. I want you all to reject him. And then I want to get our next lady, WPC Camille. I have an express article here that Dr. Bulila says she's at WPC for 10 years now and she never get a promotion. But I see she get a promotion as an AG now. She says my AG appointment legal. She's illegal, but she's not a lawyer practicing, eh? She said, All right, let's thank the massive tank. Right. This is what Camille said. She said she stopped paying the subscription to the Law Association after 2001 because the last time she engaged in practice was in 2001. I'll get to that because that's an important point that we have to raise on this platform. I believe, and Devish could probably correct me, that Camille Robinson Regis is the first Attorney General in the history of Trinidad and Tobago who cannot practice law in Trinidad and Tobago. She cannot practice law. Israel can't call her caretaker Attorney General. So Amor disqualifies herself in a Miami court, and Camille, she can't practice law. And that is the quality of candidates that the PNM has given us. But Camille is saying that she don't need a practicing certificate because she's not practicing law. The role of the Attorney General is a sacred role. The Attorney General is the chief legal advisor to the cabinet. Although an attorney at law would not, if she doesn't go to court personally on behalf of the state herself, when a person holds out themselves to be an attorney at law and gives advice, that is practicing law. The fact that you are giving advice, you are guiding the cabinet, you are practicing law. So she cannot come to say, well, I not pay the dues because I don't practice law. That is absurd. That is unheard of. In fact, the Law Association earlier this year put out a release. And this is what the Law Association had to say. And I'm reading from this. They said the Law Association urges members of the public to exercise vigilance when engaging the services of an attorney at law by ensuring he or she is the holder of a valid practicing certificate which is issued annually. And they went on to say that it will be professional misconduct where an attorney at law shall not practice as such unless he has been issued a practicing certificate in accordance with the law. That, my brothers and sisters, is a fundamental point because Camille Robinson Regis has admitted that she is not the holder of a practicing certificate, so she cannot advise the cabinet. What's she going to do? Pick up a legal opinion from the law officer in the ministry and just hand Stuart Young? That's not how it works. When you're in a cabinet and a matter comes up for deliberation, you will give advice. You will seek counsel if you need to get external counsel, but you have to give advice. So Camille Robinson Regis is playing smart with foolishness. Tonight I want to tell Camille Robinson Regis, go and pay your fees to the Law Association. Go and pay your fees. It's really easy now, you know. You can do it online and you can use credit card. I don't know if they accept government credit card, but they can accept credit card to pay your fees. So Camille Robinson Regis is playing smart with foolishness. She's playing smart with foolishness. They have brought that office of the Attorney General into absolute contempt, ridicule, odium, and disrepute. That is what they have done. But my brothers and sisters tonight, and let me just leave you with one more thing. It will be very embarrassing because she said she could get a practicing certificate. It's not as easy as that, you know. As an attorney at law who does not pay their fees for 12 months, you know what the process is? She has to file an action in court, file an affidavit in support of that claim, asking the court and begging the court to issue her a practicing certificate, and she has to explain why she didn't pay for those number of years. So how embarrassing it is. Well, an attorney general has to go before a high court judge to say, please give me a practicing certificate. Shameful. We must vote out the PNM. We have bright, very, very bright attorneys at law in the United National Congress. We need to get rid of them. But tonight, before I leave you, my brothers and sisters, I have one very important matter that I want to discuss with you. And I want you to pay particular attention to this matter. Because in Trinidad and Tobago, you have something called state enterprises. They are companies that the government set up in order to do a specific task. So when the government set up these companies, and one in particular I will reference tonight is Plibdeco. That's the Point Lisas Industrial Port Development Corporation Limited. The government owns the majority of shares in that company. They select the directors and so on. And when a state enterprise is operating, they operate using state monies. You all agree? public money. That's your money, right? And they must carry out the functions of that authority, which is called fiduciary duty. That's a big word to say. They must act in the best interest of the taxpayers and the company. That is what they must do. My brothers and sisters, tonight I have in my possession a memo from the Point Lisas Industrial Port Development Corporation Limited, which is called PLIPDECO. This memorandum is dated the 24th of February 2025. And it is from the Vice President, Business Services, to the President Acting of PLIPDECO, Curtis Denny. And I want to read out this memo for you because it is obscene, it is vulgar, and it is an absolute piece of corruption in relation to the expenditure of taxpayers' money. And let me read it for you. The subject says, request for cash/check, purchase of tickets for event February 25th, 2025. The undersigned refers to the subject matter and a request from the Board of Directors. The Board of Directors of PLIPDECO is asking for this. Please be advised that the undersigned is requesting the allocation of funds to purchase 18 tickets for the event PNM Red Fete, taking place on February 25th, 2025. The cost per ticket is outlined below, making the total required amount $20,400. General tickets, $400 per ticket. 6 tickets, $2,400. Note to be raffled out to staff. VIP all-inclusive, $1,500 per ticket. 12 tickets. Total value, $18,000. For who? The directors and management of PLIPDECO. Kindly arrange for the cash/check to be made available and payable to the People's National Movement, PNM. Forwarded for your information and action, please, Curtis Denny. Look at this. They are using state money to buy fete ticket for a PNM event. This is obscene. This is vulgar. This is a total waste of taxpayers' money, if not illegal. There are fundamental breaches of the Integrity in Public Life Act here, my brothers and sisters. How can you use state resources to buy tickets for a party event, especially the PNM, Red Fete? And it gets curiouser. There's a note at the bottom here in handwriting, and here what it says. Note, try to confirm to collect cash. Try to confirm the person to collect the cash when check is signed. So they don't even know who picking up the money for the PNM. So that is why when we tell you that they were using state money to build Balize House, we have evidence here where they were using monies from a state enterprise to fund a PNM event. Black and white here, my brothers and sisters. Black and white. So today I call upon the chairman of PLIPDECO, Annette Watty, to explain this matter, because this is a serious matter. In fact, the entire board of PLIPDECO must go. They must go. And tonight I call on Rohan Sinanan to explain this matter, where they are using public monies to buy PNM Fete ticket. And you know where the PNM Fete was held? You want to know where? On Government Plaza. Again, government premises. My brothers and sisters, these are matters that we have to vote on. These are the matters we have to reject from the PNM. They cannot continue to abuse the taxpayers like this. When you go for a social security grant, when you go for your pension, they are refusing you, but they're spending $20,000 worth of monies to buy PNM Fete ticket. My brothers and sisters, we are calling for a police investigation and an investigation by the Integrity Commission into this matter. Into this matter. And we must ask, my brothers and sisters, how many more other state enterprises buy PNM Fete ticket for the 25th? They gave the memo on the 24th, and by the 25th, payment was ready. My brothers and sisters, we have 5 weeks to go. My time is up. I will be speaking to you again and again and again to expose the corruption of this PNM government. Long live the United National Congress. Long live Kamala Persad-Bissessar. Victory on the 28th of April 2025. I thank you, my brothers and sisters. I thank you.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When you